I'm a boss chick, yeah, I'm a boss lady. I be calling shots.
Hey everyone, welcome to I Look Good Naked podcast. It's normally with Terry and Cass, but today I have a special guest because Terry is at her family reunion in Texas. So my special guest today is Shamea Morton. Yay!
Hi,
Shamea. So today it's I Look Good Naked with Cass and Shamea.
That's right. And I think I look good naked. I mean,
Yeah. And Shamea is 6 months pregnant right now.
I am, y'all, and I'm trying to just, I don't know, grow into this 6-month belly. It's so tight and so uncomfortable already.
It's so cute though and so little. Like I was telling her
Just
when
a
I was
little
6
belly
months, I was like, yep, little baby tees. She would still look amazing naked. I'm sure you're gonna do one of those the infamous pregnancy pictures.
Of course, I have to.
You gotta hold the boobies, you gotta hold the belly. Oh my God, it's so funny. But thank you for hanging out with us today.
I'm happy that Terry went to go hang out with the fam, so I come hang out with you
Yeah,
now.
because we've been saying we were going to get together. So this is like the perfect
Yes.
opportunity for us to get
is.
together. And as you guys know, we normally do our segments for our podcast, and we always start with a quote of the day. Actually, Shamea has our quote today. She's doing my part, and I'm going to do the woman part that Terry normally does. So what is our quote? What are we talking about today?
I love it. Okay, it says, God's dream is that you and I and all of us will realize that we're family. We are made for togetherness, for goodness, and for compassion. Reverend Desmond Tutu said it best, y'all.
Yay. Okay, I love that. So really it's about passion,
compassion,
togetherness,
respecting each other.
I think we read it one more time. Okay, we're going to be quiet. Read it one more time. Okay, one more time.
God's dream is that you and I and all of us will realize that we're family, we're made for togetherness, for goodness, and for compassion. So togetherness, goodness, compassion.
Togetherness, goodness, compassion. That's the message. That's the theme. And we lack that.
We so lack that in every aspect. In politics,
family,
religion,
togetherness,
all that.
We're
lack
not
compassion.
together.
Oh, not at all.
We're not
haven't
good.
been for a while.
Yeah.
Even as a black community.
Oh yeah.
We lack compassion for each other.
Yeah, that's really sad. It's that's been all strategic. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. So before we even get into that, because we're going to talk a little bit about compassion today, we're gonna highlight our young woman for today. Actually comes from entertainment. You know, we're all over the board. Sometimes we do these amazing African leaders. Sometimes we do kings and queens, or not kings, but queens and princesses and scientists. But today we are going to highlight an actress and activist. Beautiful young lady. Her name is Yara Shahidi. You guys might know her.
I love her.
She is on Blackish and just has an amazing history. Already, just at 18 years old. She was born in Minneapolis. Mom and dad moved to California when she was 4 years old, but she began her career when she was 6 years old, appearing in television, print advertisement for companies like McDonald's and Gap Kids and Guess Kids. Shahidi made her first cinematic debut in 2009 opposite of Eddie Murphy in Imagine That, for which she received a Young Artist Award nomination for Best Performance in a Feature Film category. In 2012, she played Chloe Johnson, the daughter of President William Johnson, in a TV series First Family. And then ABC announced in 2014 she was going to be Zoe Johnson on Blackish. And so that's where a lot of us know her from. And in December 2014, she also won an NAACP Image Award in that same category for Best Supporting Actress in Comedy. In 2017, she got a spinoff. And now she's in Grownish. So it's the sister network Freeform. So like she's all over the actress spectrum. But this is the most amazing thing about her, I think, is she's not just an actress, but she's an activist. She founded 18 by 18 with the social newspaper publisher Now This, which will be a platform to encourage peers to vote for the very first time in the upcoming midterm elections. Our other organizations include Yara's Club, a partnership with Young Women's Leadership Network of New York, which provides online mentorship in hopes to end poverty through education. Her activism has led to many accomplishments, which have been noticed by former First Lady, the awesome Michelle Obama, who wrote her a letter of recommendation to Harvard University. And she was also given the opportunity by Teen Vogue to interview Hillary Clinton in 2007. So that's Yara Shahidi at 18
Yes,
years old
Yara,
has done
already.
more than what most people have done in their entire life. So yay. Big ups to Yara. And her parents.
Amazing woman.
Yeah, like her mom, I hear amazing things about her mom, and she has brothers and sisters in this business. So I can only imagine the sacrifices that her mom and dad have had to go through just to kind of get her to that place. I mean, I know that you are just now starting with family and kids, but I have kids, girl, and when I say I feel like I'm uber mom, because between going back and forth from swimming to dance. Well, it used to be dance. Now it's gymnastics. So now it's gymnastics 4 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Girl, wait, what?
We are homeschooling because she's on the team. So literally the middle of the day, then she has to go to.
Okay, so you can look forward to seeing her.
Yes, hopefully we'll be reading. Somebody will be reading about her.
Yes, Ms. Brooklyn.
On IMDb. Yes, so that's it's a lot. So big ups to her parents, because if it were not for them, I'm sure many of her accomplishments wouldn't even have been achieved. But
and I follow her on social media, and she's just such a huge activist. Like for her generation, her voice is so big, and she lets it, be heard and known, and she really speaks out for us as a community, and just some of the things that you are kind of like nervous about talking about, tweeting about, even when it comes down to our youth being, killed or stereotyped. Yeah. She speaks out about it. Yeah. She's not afraid, and she has such a powerful voice, and I just love that. I love that about her.
That's amazing. Yeah, because fear is a big thing. People don't feel like they can speak out now these days.
I don't want to lose my job, or I don't want to lose this. Or she's like, hey, here's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, Yara.
Hey.
18? What?
I know at 18.
I wish I would have had the guts.
Oh my God. Well, when I was 18, we didn't have a social media platform, but we weren't even worried. We weren't even trying to speak out for others at 18. Because at 18, you're just consumed with yourself. So that's the only person you're really speaking out with.
And you're just trying to figure it out.
You're just trying to figure it out and get a man and keep a man and not fall out
and
with your girlfriends.
And sneak in the club.
And sneak in the club. Right. Our goals were just so limited.
So limited, right?
Not good. That is not good. Well, this brings us to our entertainment segment, because we were talking about compassion, talking about speaking out. Girl, so this week in entertainment, and this is so funny because I don't usually get caught up on just the messiness of online social media, but it came up in my feed and I read it because it was quick and I just bust out laughing. Then I felt bad for laughing, but it will now be a week late, but I'm sure the beef might still be going on. When Kim Kardashian has basically it started with Tyson Beckford this week.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Tyson said something about Kim K, and then Kim clapped back at Tyson, and now I guess the clapback is continuing because I don't really know, but I keep seeing things pop up in my feed.
Tyson was doing a little bit of body shaming.
Okay, which is not good.
Which is never good. Be it too small, too big, too whatever. Right. Women, we already have enough to think about with our bodies, being comfortable in our own skin. How dare you, just make a comment like that. Then the way in which he said it, he's like, a doctor effed up your right hip.
Right. So basically saying that she didn't look good.
Yeah.
And that her hips were messed up.
I don't like it or something. I don't like nothing about it or something like that. Okay, have your opinion, but do you really have to put that on my page? Like, you have to tell me?
Right. Why is it even your response? Why is it your business? Like, that's my thing. But anyway, so Kim went back, because that's going to lead us into our topic for the day. Kim went back and was just like, sis, we know why you don't like it.
Oh,
such
with the nail painting and the frog, the curve.
So basically, she called him gay. She was like, yeah, okay, well, we know you don't like because you're gay.
Yeah.
And the way that the people...
Well, first of all, it happened on Shade Room. So we all know that.
See, I didn't even realize where it happened.
And I don't think that there's an excuse for that, but Shade Room is like a place where the shades.
That's what the name speaks for itself.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I hate that it's turned into this big thing where it's like, oh, Kim's homophobic now. We know that Kim's not homophobic.
Right.
I mean, she's always around the gays.
Right, and her dad is transgender.
I mean, so I don't think that he should have went that far, because he responded to that with a photo of him, shirtless. I think it was video, and he says, I support the LGBTQ community. Now, I myself am not gay. I don't identify as a gay or bisexual man, but I I do support the community, and basically like taking a dig at Kim to say that she doesn't support.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay, now y'all are going too far.
Right.
Like let it go. Like let's have the playful shade back and forth and be done with it.
Right.
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just have a big issue with people picking on people on social media, and I feel like that's all.
That's the only thing that happens. I mean, I have right at 200,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I can post. It doesn't even matter what I post. Whatever I post, there's gonna be a few negative Nancy's on there that are gonna say something like recently I posted, "Oh, we're so excited, it's a girl, blah blah." And do you know people have gone on my page and said, "Oh, that's gonna be one ugly girl."
What?
and the sad part is it's black people. You know, it's my people.
Oh, that's
and
why
do
would
you know why they
even
say
that?
They even say stuff like they'll say complexion wise because
you're
I'm dark, my
and your
husband's dark skin, so it's like,
and then it's we've just been trained to just
it's so sad.
Just
and
berate each other.
Block because I don't go back and forth.
Do you look at them?
Sometimes I can't help it. Like a lot of times I miss a bunch of it.
Yeah.
But then I'll have somebody else, and I've got some awesome fans too, because they'll respond for me before I get to it and be like,
right.
F you, or look at your profile picture. Who are you to talk? And I'm like, yeah, you tell them, girl, because I wasn't gonna say that then. But mostly I just delete and block them. But I'm like, how ugly? You know, you have to be this, or like you can't marry for love now. It's all about securing the bag or a sugar daddy or. Look at her. You know, they just got married a year ago. She secured that bag quick. How you know I ain't had my own coins? I'm a 36-year-old woman.
Right.
I didn't wait to become 36 to secure the damn bag.
Right.
You know, like.
Right. You secure the bag when you're 21, 22, when, it's a little easier to secure the bag when you're.
Or even on his side, people say, oh, he probably married her because she's a celebrity. Who cares? You could be a celebrity today and a nobody tomorrow. Like, why are we so caught up in all of the wrong things that don't have substance,
I don't know.
Things that don't have meanings, brands, labels? Like, we should be compassionate to each other.
Yep. Togetherness.
Yes. Like, what is the problem? I hate that about us.
No. Okay, so this is so today's topic, because we're kind of getting into it right now. In just a moment, we'll be right back. Today's topic is going to talk about when the clapback goes too far and when freedom of speech is just wrong. I hate to say when it's wrong. That's really not what I'm saying. But when freedom of speech goes too far, or is there such a thing as freedom of speech going too far? So that's kind of what we'll talk about when we come back right after this moment.
I'm a boss chick, yeah. I'm a boss lady. I be calling shots.
Okay, we are back. I am Cass. I have a special guest today that I'm so excited about, Shamea Morton. Gosh, I mean, I've known you since you were like
a baby,
19. You weren't.
You weren't 20.
Were you not 19, 16, 17?
Yeah, 17.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because I think you guys were. You did help do one of my first covers,
or videos or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
With Co-Ed Roll with me back in the day.
Right. Shamea has an amazing voice for those who don't know. You may know her from some of her later appearances. She is actually a guest on Atlanta Housewives.
A friend the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, which is funny, when we ran back into each other, I didn't know, like, people were coming up to you and they were like wanting to take selfies with you. And I was like, oh, she's pretty. Yeah, like my friend is pretty, of course. But then I was like, why is everyone, like, why do people know her? Like, what is that? And then I found out, like, after the fact, they were like, oh, she's on Housewives. And I was like, oh, I'm so out of the loop.
Sometimes, but prior to Housewives, I did like 6 years NFL for the Falcons.
Yes, that's the Shamea I know.
So sometimes people come up to me, and then, the Hawks, I still do sideline reporting and commentating and stuff for the Hawks in-game hosting. So when people come to me, they're like, hey, girl, I'm not thinking they know me from Housewives. I'm thinking like, do we go to school together?
Hilarious.
Or like, oh, were you at the game Saturday night? Or they're like, no, I watched you on the show. I'm like, oh
yeah, that.
I'm like, thanks, yeah.
Yeah, I know you as a dancer, singer, personality. Yes. That's the Shamea I know, and that's a Shamea I will remain knowing.
And that's the Shamea that I want you to know. That's the one I prefer you know. You ain't even got to worry about that other side. You know, that other side can get real ugly.
I know. I don't want to see you. Like, it would just, I promise you, if I went online or I went on TV and saw you arguing and just breaking stuff, I would just break my heart.
I'm not
so
doing
I would.
that.
So,
I'm not going to give y'all all
yeah,
that.
okay, good. Please don't give us all that. You're so refined. And yes, classy.
I have too much to lose.
Yes.
Outside of that, so.
But we are no, and speaking. Okay, so going back to the brand, you are a brand. So today we are talking about the clapback and freedom of speech, and when freedom of speech goes terribly wrong, or when people take freedom of speech too far. Mm-hmm. You, as a brand or as a kind of public person, I'm sure you get comments. I'm sure people go off and they comment on just the simplest of things, like whether you're just talking about, hey, I am having a great day today, I'm walking down the street. Like, it doesn't have to be anything major. Like, how do you take that? How do you feel about that? Like, this whole freedom of speech thing has gotten, people are so sensitive. You can't say or do anything. Or if people have something to say about it.
You know what? I used to be like heavily into it. Like, every comment, I'm like, and Candy told me, she's like, you're gonna drive yourself crazy doing that.
Yeah.
Delete, block is your best friend. Don't even read it. As soon as you see like be something, delete, block. That's your new best friend.
Right.
Don't give it that energy. And you know what's funny? Sunday, my husband and I just got back from the Bahamas. We were doing a 1-year anniversary trip.
Uh-huh.
And I woke up early and
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm battling a cold, so I was like, or my allergies are flaring up rather. And I'm looking at the TV and Joel Osteen comes on. Uh-huh. And he's talking about how we got to stop letting people steal our joy. Mm-hmm. And he says, he uses a dump truck analogy. Mm-hmm. And he says, there are a lot of dump trucks driving around just trying to figure out or find a place to drop their garbage or their trash. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes they'll dump it onto you.
Good. That's a good analogy.
And sometimes they'll dump it onto you. And that's fine. But you keep your lid on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. That's so amazing, because I think about how these people don't know me.
Right.
But they come to my timeline and they say some of the meanest stuff, some stuff that you just like, your mouth is just open, but you just take it. Because that person could be having a bad day.
They're going through. Like,
on the way here, a girl, it was a little traffic. Uh-huh. We couldn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. And she's like, blowing her horn, and like, she's got her girlfriend next to her, because she, you know, is very obvious. They're very out there with it. And so I'm like, okay, you know, she's like blowing her. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, my tail light, you know, what's going on? Right. So she pulls up beside me. She's like, you need to fucking pull up. I don't know.
Yeah, you can cuss. Yeah, we cuss on his all the time. Yeah, child. We let it. Yeah.
She's like, drop the F-bomb. She's like, you need to pull up. And I'm like, she's like, what's the problem? I said, traffic. And she says, I mean, well, you can at least drive up to the next car. So she swerves, gets in front of me. So then I just moved to the next lane. And literally, it's nothing but God, because my lane just completely freed up.
Hilarious.
Now she's stuck behind here, and I just like, hi. But I think it's crazy how people drive around with so much garbage. Yeah. And it's almost like you have to look at yourself like, okay, I'll be the therapist. Right. And I'll just let you just have your way with me. Right. But I'm not going to let it steal my joy. I'm not going to let it, bring me down, because it happens 24/7. I mean, you can post something so simple as an ultrasound picture, and they're like,
something as simple as,
that baby gonna have big head, or you know, I mean, anything.
It's so ridiculous. It doesn't even matter. So what is it? Is it that people are craving? Okay, because I've done some research, because I'm just like, okay, what makes people bully? You know, I'm like, I don't understand it, and thankfully, I don't have enough followers. I mean, I'm sure I'm not even into social media like that. I'm sure somewhere in there, if I really dug deep, it would be somebody saying something negative. But of course, Terry does, and so there are people that comment about her, skin, or how she used to be this, and how that and the other. So I can only imagine how eventually it does get to you. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what makes people do that? And I'm like, okay, well, it's psychology. They're sad, they're depressed, they're insecure. But we just used to not live in a society. Well, I guess it was just before the internet. Like, people always bullied people.
We were never as accessible. Like,
because you could bully people in person in school, but it was never a lot of people. It was one tough person that felt like they were big enough, and if they were going to say it, they were going to have to fight.
Yes, exactly. So now you don't have. now it's like people can hide behind the monitor.
Right.
I've never once had a person come up to me in public and say, I hate you, or you're a B, or screw you, or you are ugly, or you.
Right.
Never. I always get the total opposite.
You're so beautiful.
I love you. And I'm like, oh, and it probably could be those same people that are on your page.
They might be.
Talking all that trash. But they always hide behind the screen.
Right.
And I think that's the bad part about social media. It gives people the courage to just, I guess, come for you or throw shade. And then I look back on old comedians. I love all the old comedians.
Okay.
Because it goes back to like you said, freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, which we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose that right. I was reading, I just saw something where Leslie Jones was on The View, and she was talking about how they're going back now and they're looking at comedians' past sets and trying to hold them accountable for things they said 15, 20 years ago about whatever. So, I mean, obviously comedians used to make jokes all the time about the homosexual community. Like that was a bit. Everybody had a bit about that. And now comedians can't even talk about it because now the community is, they're like, no, now you're being insensitive. So they're trying to go back. And Leslie was like, man, our job is to make people laugh. Like you're basically saying we can't even do our job anymore because our job is to make people laugh. So then you take that same thing, and I'm not talking about the very harmful, hurtful things that people say, but sometimes people clown people online. We have DC Young Fly. We used him in our movie. DC built his career on roasting people. Like that's all he did. He would just take jazz at people, and they were hilarious, like so hilarious. Sometimes I would
like
laugh at them.
lunchroom joning, cafeteria.
It's
joning.
like lunchroom joning, but now that crosses that fine line of you can't really do that, even though you do. But now people can sue you, they can come against you, they can do whatever, or basically bring you down.
Like, why are we so sensitive?
So it's that fine line.
But then other people argue back and say, "Why are you so insensitive?"
Right.
But it's like, for me, I'm all for a good joke.
Right.
I wake up ready for it. I want it. I want you to come for me. Like I don't want us to play about it. Like go back and forth. But then I also don't want you to get sensitive when you come back. Yeah, don't tell me I went too far because no, you can't take the butt of the joke. You're the butt of the joke. Right. You can't take it.
So then, if you look at the situation with Kim and with Tyson, and she said it was a joke, or we can even go back a few more weeks and you look at the situation with Roseanne Barr. Oh. And Valerie Jarrett, and she said what she said about, Planet of the Apes and the Muslim Brotherhood, and then she went back and said she didn't even realize, I don't know if you know this, but she went back then they did her live interview, and she said she didn't even realize Valerie Jarrett was African American because her skin was the same complexion as her complexion, and that it was...
Now we know that's some bullshit.
I don't know. Like I don't know where you are to think. And she is really fair skinned, so I get it, but I don't know how clueless you could be. But she said I was joking, and of course Kim said I was joking. So it's like, I don't know. It's such a fine line because it's like, how do you know people are joking or not?
I definitely don't think it was that serious.
Kim's situation.
I don't think it was. I mean, and here's the thing. I'm nervous now. I even got to be careful what I'm about to say on this podcast because I'm like, I don't want nobody coming back to me like, oh, look at Shamea supporting, and she's letting
now she's supporting. She hate the
HBCU, or the community. Yeah, no, I'm like, that's not it. I love y'all. I love all my people, but I don't take offense when people come at me. I'm a heterosexual woman. I have a husband. Like I don't take offense when people come for me and my husband.
Right.
So why should you take offense if I come for you and your wife? Or you and your husband,
or your husband, or whatever. Or if you even insinuate, like it doesn't even if
why
it's
does it even have to go back to sex or your bedroom life?
I don't know.
Like why can't it just be surface? Why can't I think
nothing
that
is surface? That's
you're
the thing.
so extra, not because you're extra in a flamboyant way, because you're extra.
You're pretty.
Your personality is
Tyson,
just too much.
You're gorgeous. You have a gorgeous personality. That's what that you got paid millions of dollars to be. So I'm sure along your career, people have always insinuated. So it doesn't matter. So had it been offline, it would have been a whole different conversation than had it been online, because everyone feels like they have to protect themselves, or they have to, no one wants to look like they're the butt of a joke. Unless it's a real comedian, and then now the comedian has blown your name up, and now you can capitalize off of it.
But even then, now they want to sue.
I don't know.
A comedian has hurt me. Like, even with there was a heckler in the audience at one of Nene's shows, and that's when she made her comment about, I hope you get raped back to Uber or something.
She got raped. Yep, I do remember that.
She lost so much money and so many,
I didn't even know what was the fallout of that. So she ended up
the heckler. She just kept
going.
Yeah, and then Nene responded in kind. Like
right. But see, the celebrities have stuff to lose, so they can't respond.
But comedians back in the day could just come back and be like, man.
Yeah. I fucked your wife.
It's like, I hope you get hit by a bus or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like,
and people would laugh.
Yeah. And now it's like, shame on you for saying that. It's like, oh, come on. Why can't we just let it be? Like, lap it off. They told me I was having threesomes with Candy and Todd and question my sexuality.
I'm so confused. See, I have no idea what's happening.
I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. Seeing as though I was planning my wedding,
But maybe it's hilarious because it wasn't true. Like maybe.
Well, and I also thought it was funny just because the shit was funny. Like I was like, I started calling Candy baby mama.
Oh, hilarious!
I just feel like we gotta let things roll off.
Right.
Like if you, especially for Kim and Tyson, you signed up for this.
Right.
You knew your name is in this
right.
spotlight. I mean.
Right.
People are gonna have their way with it. One thing you say could be turned to something else.
Right.
You just gotta know that this was my intent. This is the meaning behind it.
Right.
And however it's taken after that, it's like I can't really, because now we trying to patrol how we say, why we say, what we say, and it's like there is no freedom of speech.
Yeah, there really isn't. I mean, there is, but there isn't. Like it really has gotten to the place where. There isn't, because people are out of control. People are because again, okay, so just recently I read this ad, and it was a please forgive me, it may not be Kentucky, but I feel like it was a Kentucky senator who ran an ad, and the ad was like making Kentucky great again. But in the ad, he used pictures of lynchings, but the legs were like made a letter or made some sort of thing, so you couldn't see the bodies but you could see the legs. And so they were like, close this ad down. Of course they got on him, and then he said, I never really realized. And I mean, of course that's an extreme, but he's like, I didn't realize it was offensive. Yes, you did. You knew it was offensive. Like some things are just so blatant. So it's that fine line of like even our president. Like there's so many people are crossing so many fine lines of decency that it's almost as though freedom of speech, not to say we want to be like a communist society like China, but it's almost like, okay, you just let the people go so far, and people unfortunately aren't compassionate, and so that decency line is crossed, and then it's like, are we mature enough to handle freedom of speech as a society?
So let me ask you this, because you do film,
right.
TV,
right,
for a while.
Yeah.